And I know there's a lot of Black people out there who, oh my God, I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to get emotional, but, and I know it's going to be a lot of Black people who are going to be the ones who say, I get it. I completely understand where she's coming from. Let me just sip my tea because, sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. If you're new to my channel, I would like to officially welcome you and thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a returning viewer, you're probably surprised as to why I'm sitting here and talking to you guys and not crocheting, because the channel is about crocheting and things like that. But I'll tell you guys a little bit about what I'm doing. Now, I have decided to start a new segment of my channel called Simply Crochet and Chat. And this segment is just going to be something that I do every so often. I will try to do it once a week. If I don't do it once a week, it will be, twice. It's not a big deal. It's going to be coming when I have something to talk to you guys about. But this segment is going to be geared towards just kind of me sitting here. Most likely I'll be sipping tea because I love to sip my tea when I crochet, and of course I will be crocheting. So crochet, I will sip some tea, and then I'll chat with you guys. And it could be anything. It could be like just a live update. It could be me talking about a new pattern that I'm creating and I'm excited to kind of talk about it, but I'm not putting into a tutorial yet for whatever reason. It could just be it could be anything that I'm talking about. Okay, so let me take a sip of my tea. Speaking about tea, so I want this segment to be more about you guys just kind of getting to know me a little bit better, and I'll be like, talking about just anything, right? So and I'll be interacting with you guys in the comments. Just put whatever, if you have any questions, if you have any topic that you think I should talk about or just chat about. I'm not promising that I will talk about everything that you suggest, but like if there's something that you guys want to have me talk about here, I will definitely try my best to do so. But let's interact. Let me know in the comments below. Just let me know too what you think about this segment. Obviously, by the time I'm done, you will know what the topic is and what I'm talking about and whether you agree with what I'm saying or not. And always, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, just to say why you don't agree with what I'm saying, just so I understand, because you're simply saying I don't agree with what you're saying at all. Okay, why? Like, right? So, and that's how you have a constructive discussion, is to kind of give people your reasons as to why you agree or don't agree and whatever. So anyways, so this segment is simply just gonna be that, right? So today's topic that I want to talk about is it's gonna be on empathy. I consider myself to be a very empathetic person. I like to, I like to support people. I like to put myself in their shoes if they tell me something is going on in their life, whatever it is, and just kind of sympathize with the person and have their back and support them. And if you guys, I know most of you have probably like seen what's going on in the last couple of days, the last week or so, with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and the whole drama with the royal family. And I think that kind of triggered something in me, and the, it just kind of triggered something in me because I just realized what she's going through. I'm not gonna talk about that particular interview that they did with Oprah very much, but I'm going to highlight two things that happened, that they talked about in the interview that triggered me personally. What the first thing that Meghan talked about was how she felt like she was discriminated, especially by the tabloids, by the news media, UK to be specific, because of the color of her skin. Now, whether you agree with that suggestion or that statement that she made or not, the fact is it's her lived experience. There is no simple way to put that but to say that I should probably be crocheting while I talk, no? I just completely forgot, and I just went right into the chatting portion of the segment and completely forgot to crochet. By the way, I'm making a baby girl blanket. I'm going to be doing a tutorial for this on the channel soon, but I'm building it up. When it's done, then I can do a tutorial. It's called a waffle stitch. It's actually really cute, you guys. Anyways, not to be distracted or anything, but I thought because the segment is called Simply Crochet and Chat that I would be actually crocheting as well. But anyways, I just noticed that there was such a polarizing positions of people. Either they really support her and they empathize with her, or they just don't like her and they don't believe anything that she says. So with that said, the way I feel and how I think empathy or the lack thereof empathy has a lot to do with it is because people, when you lack empathy, you just don't relate to the person. You don't understand. You don't want to put yourself in their shoes. You don't want to even give them a benefit of the doubt that what they are saying could have some truth to it. And this triggered me particularly because I have gone through experience like that. Just the idea of telling people, whether it's your friends or your family or just people around you, telling them that you have gone through a certain experience. And I did not want to be emotional on this video. I can feel my tears filling up. Like I can feel my tears coming up. And I mean this, and I think this is why I got triggered this week, because I have gone through things like that. I've gone through, as you guys can see, I'm a Black woman, and as a Black person on this planet, you get discriminated. Again, it's whether it's directly, indirectly, whatever the case is, you have gone through it. And if you're a Black person who have never experienced racism or discrimination because of the color of your skin, then you're the luckiest person on this earth to have not gone through it, because it's not a good feeling to go for a job interview and not get it because of the color of your skin. And I'll tell you guys some stories that of things that have happened to me that when I'm talking about I got triggered. These are some of the things that I'm just gonna talk a little bit about some of them. I have been followed in shops. I have gone to go just shop like anyone else and have somebody follow me around enough that you start to feel uncomfortable. And I'm not the kind of person who will see a person coming in the aisle that I'm in and then I move to the next aisle and they come there and I call that being followed. I'm not that naive. Like I know people would be in, like people will go from aisle to shop. So you cannot really call that being followed. But what I'm talking about is when you are shopping and you're looking in the aisles for what you're looking for, and you look to the right or to the left and you see somebody just standing there staring, or they're pretending to be on their phone, or they're pretending to read labels of things. But sometimes when you connect eyes with them and they're literally looking at you and they're watching everything that you're doing. And so what I have done, the first couple of times that it happened, I was like, oh no, it's just coincidence and whatever. But then I was stopped as I was leaving the store. This person that was looking at me and kind of watching me, but I didn't really believe that was happening, followed me, and before I could even exit the store, tells me, ma'am, stop, come over here, I would like to talk to you, and then says, can I search in your bag? And then, like they will usually reveal themselves to be the store security or undercover security, and they're here to try and stop shoplifting and people who shoplift and that they don't pay for things. So then when this happened a couple of times, I was like, why the hell am I so naive to think that these people are just other customers who are shopping? Obviously, it has happened to me enough times that I know I'm being followed and I'm being watched to see that I'm not shoplifting. And I have never shoplifted in my life. In my life, I have never gone to a store and pick up something and put it in my pocket or put it in my bag and walk out without paying for it. Sorry, guys. I hate talking about things like this because I never ever plan to have tears coming down, and then I can't stop it. But I'm sorry. Like I did not want to cry, but It's just sometimes when we talk about emotional things that affect you deep like that, like you just don't control your physiology. It just comes out. But I have never shoplifted. So that it hurts the most sometimes when you know you haven't done anything, but somebody assumes because of the color of your skin that you would do it or you have done it. So I know that I am now fully aware that when I go shopping and I see somebody hovering above me and just kind of walking close to me, or like just they appear in every, I start to test them. And what I do is, if I'm on aisle one and I'm looking to buy something in aisle one and you're following me, and I will go to aisle two and see, okay, he's here too. And usually it's he, unfortunately. And if you're there too, I will literally go to the last aisle of that shop. And I'm hoping it's big enough that I can go to aisle 85 and see if you follow me there. And usually when somebody's following you to see if you're gonna shoplift, they will be in aisle 85 with you. And so I started to do this more and more, where I would keep, I became more vigilant to just watch to see what, like, are people around watching and looking out for me. And usually when I see that, okay, there's a sign of being followed, I would leave the store. And even after leaving the store, usually I would get stopped. And this is things that I would usually, I've told these stories to many of my friends. And when I talk about lack of empathy, this is what I'm talking about. Because in most cases, you tell somebody, this happened to me, and you explain the situation as to how it happened and where. And the first thing that most people would usually say is, oh, well, but why do you think you're kind of, you're the only one who has followed? Maybe it's just the store policy. It's a store policy that they have to follow people to make sure they don't shoplift. Okay, so one, you just assumed that that was an okay thing to do, even though I told you it has happened to me many times. And that's what I'm talking about, lack of empathy, is we just assume and we automatically take the side of a corporation, of a corporation, or like an organization or a person that you don't even know, and you automatically give excuses as to why they may have done that. And that can literally sometimes feel like you're being re-victimized. And I don't want to be a drama queen and say, being re-victimized and stuff, but like sometimes it feels like it. Because when you tell people this happened to me, I mean, you don't expect them to go and talk to bosses of that company and things like that, but you expect them to say, "Oh, that is awful. Like, I can't believe that happened to you. I could never imagine this happening to me." But in most cases, you don't hear that kind of conversation coming from people, especially people who you consider friends. And that sometimes can make you question friendships. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have questioned friendships and sometimes literally left friendships behind because of that. And I've gone through really tough things as a Black person living on this earth, that because of my blackness that I have just experienced. I have lost jobs, not lost because I had it before, but not be able to get a job because of the color of my skin. What I'm trying to get to, the point that I'm trying to get to, is that when you tell people who are not Black, for example, that this is an experience you've gone through, what I quite often find is that nobody just believes you. What they will say is, oh, what if it's just, I mean, if it's their store policy, then why would that hurt your feelings? Or, oh, maybe you're just the unlucky one that they chose to follow, because I think they cannot follow everyone in the store, so they will choose one person to follow. So there's just never belief of that person having experienced something that they feel is awful. There's never just support to say, oh my God, I have never experienced that, but I feel awful that this happened to you. I don't know how that feels like. You just never get that. Like, it's very, 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 very rare. And I had people who I call dear, dear, dear friends that I love and care for, and I ever tell this experience to, they never, ever, ever just come out and give you empathy. That's it. They never just come out and say, oh my God, like, that's awful, like that happened to you. It's always coming up with justifications or reasons as to why this may have happened. But it's not that easy for someone who goes through it a lot. Like, when you go through it a lot, the fact that it's a store policy is no longer gonna, it's no longer gonna cut it. Because why is this store policy down like low key policy to follow black people? Is that the case, or is this like, do you know what I mean? Are these people trained to go after particular people? Like, and when you have experienced that more than once, it becomes something that you just don't want to do. I just really hope people could have more empathy towards other people's experiences and not jump so much to attack that person and call that person attention seeking or whatever it is. Because when it really comes down to it, we all want to be understood. Like, we all want to be heard and trusted that what you're saying is true, whether you believe that that could happen or not. That's not the point. The point is not that you have not had that experience, therefore it hasn't happened. And with all the people who go out to and do interviews and say, oh, I worked for the royal family for this long and I never ever saw such thing. Well, but have you ever looked at the fact that you're not the kind of person that those could have happened to? Right? So we just have to ask ourselves questions and kind of look at things from the person's experience point of view. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and just to ask you guys to have empathy and to, look at other people's perspective before you cast a judgment, and just be there for people. Like, you don't have to know someone, you don't have to be friends with someone, you don't have to agree with everyone, you don't have to agree with what I say, you don't have to, but you can respect me and you can empathize with me when I express my hurt. Anyways, I don't want to ramble on too much. This is my first segment of Let's Crochet and Chat, and I hope you guys enjoy this segment. If you do, please comment below and let me know what you think about it. If you don't, let me know as well, and why you don't like it. I just think it's like, I have a place like this to be able to express how I feel, and hopefully somebody will relate to it. And if you guys have any topics that you'd like to suggest that I can talk about, I'm not gonna promise that I will, because it could be a topic that I'm just not equipped to talk about it, or it could be something that I can't relate, so it would be hard for me to talk about it. But if it is something that I know I have a little bit of background, I can talk about it and we can just chat about it. This is not at all to minimize anything or anyone, but it's just to just kind of give my 2 cents and talk about some of the things that I've been going through, especially in the last week when it comes to that whole thing that we just talked about. Anyways, thank you so much, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And also just hit the notification bell while you're at it, because I'm sorry I'm talking like that, because sometimes when I get emotional, I have like a blocked nostrils. I don't know why, but it's like my tears are all just coming down, and they just kind of, like they just kind of clog my nose, and now I feel like I have a cold, but I don't have a cold. I was fine just beginning of this video. But anyways, hit the notification bell while you're at it, and we'll go ahead and catch up on the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Love you so much. Take care.